I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this.
And that's why all your shots suck. Can't be serious for 3 seconds.
WWF, baby.
So this camera kind of feels like it came straight out of a sci-fi movie. And honestly, after using it, kind of felt like it too. So today we're actually gonna be taking a look at this beauty of a camera. This is the Ronin 4D 8K, and there's some really cool things about this camera that kind of make it special. Obviously, we had the original version, which is the same body, just with the 6K head, but this one actually uses the same sensor that's in the Lumix S1R2, which right now is one of my favorite sensors with the whole dynamic range expansion mode. So we're gonna take a look at this. We're gonna talk about how it's been kind of taken over Hollywood and whether or not it's a camera you should even consider at all. I got the opportunity to utilize the Ronin 4D 8K on a commercial shoot with Cam Mackey, who was directing his light commercial, and he really wanted to utilize this camera along with the new Mantis Blazar lenses because it would be fast and versatile, because we didn't have a lot of time, to be honest, on the shoot. We only had one afternoon to actually film the entire short piece for his video, so we knew we wanted it to be good. So Cam and I actually met up to plan out the mood board and the storyboard so that we had some sort of a semblance of an idea of what we were going to do once we actually arrived on set. And the program we were using to actually organize our thoughts into this kind of mood board and then also into the shot list is actually Milanote, which is the sponsor of today's video. Now, Cam has actually used Milanote a lot in the past for other production, and I love how it takes my disorganized mess in my head and makes it super visual. Plus, it's really easy to go ahead and tweak if you want to make any changes on the fly. And just to be a little bit more specific about what Milanote can do, you can directly add in images, links, to-do lists, notes, comments, and a lot more, and it's all in one place, which is visually really convenient. And to be honest, all this prep really saved us on the shoot, because not only did we not have a lot of time on set, but no offense, Cam Mackey, your shoots are kind of chaotic. They're pretty wild.
So we were going ham. We have 2 hours left in this location, and Connor and I basically looked at each other like, and I was like, hang on, let's look at your Milanote. And so we looked at this and it immediately got us right back on track and not freaking out.
This production really did move fast, and that's where the Ronin 4D immediately started to shine for me, because it's kind of the ultimate run and gun system once you get to learn its quirks, which it does have quite a few. Now let's go ahead and talk about something that's super positive, and that's going to be the actual menu system of this camera. Being able to quickly navigate and find what you need is so critical on these fast-paced shoots, and I do think that DJI just kind of has this mastered, maybe only rivaled by Blackmagic, but it is pretty dang close. This screen on the Ronin 4D is incredible. So it actually is like a usable large display. It's a touch display as well, but also they have, just like on the Arri cameras, you have the different buttons up here. So if I want to change my ISO, I just click on the one above ISO. We have our NDs down here. Again, super responsive touchscreen. I do wonder if there's a way to change NDs on the body. That would be pretty cool, but I'm actually not sure that there is a way to do that. But one thing that DJI just does well, if you used any of their drones, it's their menus. They're really clear and they're really simple. So even having not really ever used a system like this, I feel pretty confident just kind of fumbling my way through the menus and getting to what I need to get to. Again, these Arri style buttons are pretty awesome. So if I want to add ND, I click the button down here. I can just slide up. It's super easy. Up here, I can just change my ISO, I think, which we want it to be at 800, which is native. I do like that it also specifies that that's the native ISO. I think that a lot of other camera companies need to start doing that, because I use a lot of different cameras and it's always like, is it 640? Is it 800? With the new S1R Mark II, it's freaking 200 and 400 and 800 and 1000. It's all over the place. So that's actually a pretty dang nice feature. Also, can we just talk about how amazing it is that we have built-in internal NDs? Because honestly, the head of this gimbal, if I were to take off the lens, there's not much going on there. And if this didn't have internal ND, I think immediately it wouldn't be worth it, because I wouldn't want to have to deal with putting NDs in the front. And again, that really ruins the whole run and gun nature of it. So being able to just click a button on the monitor, swipe through whatever ND I need, and then go is such a big deal. So it all being super convenient like this made it actually feel like I almost knew what I was doing. That is until I was trying to utilize the whole AMF mode, which is honestly a bit weird. AMF mode is a bit weird. It's almost like handing over the, oh, hey, how we doing? This is another one of the quirks. It was doing this to me earlier. There's a sensor on the bottom of this thing, so if it detects that it's near the ground, the gimbal likes to kind of pop up all willy-nilly, which I guess makes sense, but it also is a little bit confusing. AMF mode is a bit weird. It feels like there's a phantom operator that just kind of takes control. The wheel will just start spinning on its own. So if I go ahead and spin this, so it's wrong, and let it go, it spins itself, which is good because basically what you want it to do is the camera will do majority of the work for you. So as you're moving around, it focuses in on things and you don't have to really worry about it. But if it's about to jump, you can just place your finger on this little wheel and literally hold it as it fights against you, and it'll lock the focus in place. So in principle, it's pretty dang genius. But to be honest, in practice, I did find it to be a bit difficult to control, or at least at first. So one of the things about the Ronin 4D that's cool is you can actually program the LiDAR to have different lenses. If we were smart, we would have done that ahead of time. So we're switching from the 35, which we do have the autofocus program, to now the 50. But again, if we had programmed it, you can just go into the menu and select Mantis 50, Mantis 35, Mantis whatever you need. And we have a few other lenses programmed in there, but I don't know, that's it. This video is gonna be crazy.
If you guys have used the DJI LiDAR system, it's very similar. I would say this is even easier to program though, because obviously you can pull focus directly from here and everything. So it only takes 2 points. It has you step back and do a more further calibration, and then you go to minimum focus and you calibrate it. You could complete it from there, but if you want a more accurate calibration, you can still keep doing different points.
So you actually can't see this probably out here, but Milanote isn't working because the location that we're on, we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But what's actually really great is that there is an option to go ahead and export out your different Milanote boards as PDFs. So luckily I had the foresight. I didn't know why I did this, but I decided to do it. And I actually have access to all of the different Milanote boards that I made as saved PDFs. So that's going to allow us to still reference it while we're shooting out here. Now let's actually get more specific about the whole LiDAR system in this thing. And really what makes it special is that we're able to utilize more interesting lenses than just those standard 24-70 or whatever have it. Now on here right now I have the DJI Remus 50mm, which literally only took me about 1.5 minutes to go ahead and calibrate for this lens. But actually on the production day, we were using those really cool new Mantis lenses.
I will say though, the biggest downside is the weight capacity. So that's one of the reasons I first fell in love with the DJI anamorphics, because they were the only anamorphics that had a really good look to them, that look like anamorphic, but that can actually balance on here. So that's what really made the 4D for me. That's why I fell in love with it, is when I paired up with the DJI Remus A set originally.
Now again, you know, it has its issues. When I was actually using it in practice, I did have trouble going from an object to a human subject. That seemed to be kind of a difficult thing for it to understand. So it would be nice if DJI would update to allow me to be more specific in selecting what kind of autofocus subject tracking I want to use. There's actually quite a few shots that were pretty dang cool, but unfortunately I missed focus because as something was happening, it randomly decided to jump to the background and I wasn't quick enough to stop it from focusing on that because I didn't quite get the right friction that you needed to get to control it without actually hindering it. It's a bit of a learning curve, to be honest. However, I will say that this is definitely my error as an operator. Again, I never got to use it and practice with it beforehand. I definitely do recommend that if you're looking to get something in this realm, whether it's the 6K or the 8K, I would definitely put a little bit of time into it before you actually take it on production, because focus can sometimes get a little bit haywire. You want the list?
Go to where I was just throwing stuff into it.
Oh, okay. That's the mood board.
Yeah, the mood board looks like my brain.
Yeah, the mood board's a little messy, but it actually it's kind of nice.
Show putting Fresnel on bouncing light off the wall for the key light, showing attached softbox. So guys, when Connor set this Milanote up, I went in, he gave me a link and I was able to edit and throw all my own stuff into there. that's basically what this is. And then Connor went through and organized it better.
Another thing that I really enjoy about Milanote is they make it easy with these built-in templates. So if you don't exactly know where to get started, Milanote offers over 100 built-in templates to get you started on any type of creative work. And also guys, Milanote is available for free with no limits. So if you want to check it out for one of your creative projects, you can sign up using my link in the description to get creating.
So you guys can even see, I threw in screenshots of some of my favorite movie scenes that I wanted to try to recreate for this video. Sadly, again, this light comes out in like 4 days and we gotta go. So I'm trying to do what I can. But even this Milanote, I even put in YouTube coverage. So like things I was gonna try to film for. But all the screenshots here, these are some like scenes that I wanted to try to recreate with the light, the truck shots. That's what we're gonna be doing next. Again, my brain's spastic on shoots like this. So having something like this really works. I love doing stuff like this, but when it comes to YouTube, I rarely have the structure in my brain to do it unless it's like an actual client shoot.
Yeah, honestly, what I wanted to know, and maybe what you want to know, is does the fourth axis really make a difference? And to no surprise at all, it really does. I use the Ronin stick gimbal all the time, and really what we ended up having to do is to master the whole ninja walk so that you're not bobbing your shoulders up and down, therefore bobbing the camera up and down. What this is allowing you to do is remove the steps out of your footage, making everything just that much smoother. So one of the best things about this is obviously the built-in stabilization. So I actually have the 4D axis turned off and it still looks really stable. Jericho's admirably hand holding the S1R2, which has the same sensor as this, but I can double click this and engage the 4D sensor. And now I can move with a lot more confidence. And it's actually taking the steps out of my movement, which is just such a cool thing. I mean, you guys are seeing the footage right now. How stable does it look to you guys? A couple more things that I just want to go ahead and mention. These grips are fantastic. I really love how they feel because this thing isn't exactly light, especially when you put kind of a lens like this on the front of it, but they still feel really good and they contour well to your hands. Everything is really easy to access, so I can, operate the gimbal really effectively. Also on the side, we have really clear switches and buttons, which makes it really easy to access. And then also you have some quick action functions. Like if I double tap the right trigger, it'll go automatically into the fourth axis stabilization mode, double tap it again, and it turns off. You also have quick access to peaking and all the things. Again, it's just a really convenient solo operator system. But things that aren't perfect, again, it only shoots in ProRes and ProRes RAW. ProRes RAW is kind of useless to me in DaVinci Resolve, so that's kind of a bummer. And because it's all ProRes, you're going to eat through your storage pretty dang quickly. This thing has a 1 terabyte stick and we kind of were chewing through that pretty dang quick. So you're gonna need extra media if you're going to be utilizing this thing. And then also this thing kind of destroys batteries. It's just been kind of sitting here turned on, not really doing everything, occasionally focusing on nothing because again, the autofocus system is just a little bit goofy and it's at 33% down from, I think it was at like 75% when I started. So yeah, the battery life on this thing is definitely not the best. So if you do invest in the system, I would have a couple of extra batteries lined up as well. I honestly really didn't think I would use Milanote so much on set, but I used it constantly. You can honestly even just see from this footage, not just me, but Cam, we're constantly going back to Milanote to be like, what the heck are we doing here again? It wasn't just a pretty interface. This really was our home base, and it's what made the shoot actually, in the end, give us a final product. Now, a hack that I found while using Milanote is to actually combine it with ChatGPT. I've been using that a lot to help me just kind of organize my thoughts as well. And also what's really cool is ChatGPT has a pretty solid AI image generator. So I was actually able to upload pictures of Cam and his light and then generate images of shots that help me kind of visualize ahead of time what kind of shots we were going to be going for. They definitely didn't look perfect. It was just to give us an idea of an idea so that we can actually film effectively. And between me not understanding the camera and the whole chaoticness of a Cam Mackie shoot, I don't know what we would have gotten if we didn't have Milanote keeping us on track. So is this thing Hollywood's biggest gimmick? No, it's not. It's actually something that Hollywood probably should be using way more. I think if DJI could work out just a few of the kinks when it comes to the LiDAR kind of focusing all over the place or give us more subject tracking options, I think that this would just be an absolute home run. All the music in this video, by the way, not sponsored, was done with Artlist. And if you guys want to directly support me, those of you who stuck around to the end of the video, I really do appreciate that. Maybe go ahead and check out the Artlist link. I really do use Artlist for all of my music. I find it to be the best blend of both YouTube music and cinematic music. It's kind of got everything you need, plus a plethora of other features, not just music. And if you do sign up using that link, it directly supports me, and I really do appreciate it. I hope that you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy, guys.